boy.
Yeah.
So people always try to rage and put one over the other when at the end of the day, when you look at what Dr. King endured, especially like you said, them jail rides. It wasn't an easy ride. They would put him in the back of a truck, take him from one state such as Georgia to another state such as Mississippi in the back of a truck in a little cage with German shepherds on each side, barking at his ankles the whole way, tearing him up the whole way, bumpy ride. So and he will bravery, the epitome,
Unheard of.
yeah,
I say don't nobody nuts hang lower than
nobody.
That's how I say it.
Him and Harriet Tubman. Nobody got nobody.
And here it is. I say that, and my hero was Malcolm X.
Yeah.
I done read more books on Malcolm X than any other person in my life. That's my absolute hero. But my best friend would always say, "Man, you got to get up on King. You got to get up on King." So once I graduated college, I read the books. And then I was like, able to put it in perspective. So I don't put one over the other. You know what I mean? And the reality of at that time, man, it wasn't that the North was any better, really. I mean, at the end of the day, the way they even part of the reason why affirmative action got started. Dr. King went to Chicago and stayed in the housing as a protest to how discriminatory things were with housing, and he did that in Chicago. So just to even give a little, just a little more game.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. And Malcolm used to say that he never separated how the South and the North acted or whatever. Like if you can go read history right now, it won't come to me his exact quote, so I don't want to misquote him.
Right.
But he always talked about that there literally was no difference, and it wasn't. It wasn't like so. Don't even let that get you twisted up. But I will say, if you ever go, it's a book called. I can't think of the book right now. Something America. I'll text it back to you after we get off.
Yeah.
But that book just breaks down a lot of their difference is just based on being raised in their different environments, and so it actually makes sense why they, in a sense, took a different plight. And Malcolm was needed too. Like Malcolm once he started breaking away from the NOI or whatever. There was a time where he sent a letter to where he knew King and them was going to the chief of police in that I think it was in Mississippi. He did this.
Oh yeah,
he sent this letter, and it was to say
that was when he was in jail, right?
Well, this was prior to him going to jail. Yeah, but he sent that letter to say, you could deal with the king, or you could deal with me.
Gotcha. Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Wow. By this time, they were starting to line up a lot more.
Yeah.
And they unfortunately hadn't met. Malcolm wanted to end up trying to meet him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But obviously, he got more freedom from doing that once he left the NOI, if you will.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But I just say that to say, again, I don't put one over the other, but I just know that it's absolutely natural. And we would naturally say, you hit me, I'm going to hit you back. That's natural to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But, and I can understand somebody saying, well, it ain't brave not to hit back. I can understand that. But the purpose was way bigger than why he was not hitting back. Because it was attaching it to what he wanted to happen.
Yeah.
And then he ended up, to a degree, having some success with that. Because, again, nobody's ever says like that, but in just me reading it all, he broke the KKK's reign of terror. Because they could always slap our ass back into... I mean, we're talking... Like, to give a little more history, I'm sorry to belabor this.
You good.
But we're talking about... Like, you literally, this is in the 50s. Yeah. We're in Georgia right now.
Yeah.
So this is what you and all three of us, for the most part, would have had to do if we were right now living in Georgia in the 50s. You walk down the sidewalk, and a white woman comes, you get off the sidewalk.
That's chivalrous.
Wow, boy.
He light skinned. That's all right.
This is here it is. You could go to jail for talking too loud around a white woman in the 50s in Georgia.
And I know some loud niggas.
That's go to jail for talking too loud. So getting lynched for looking at one wrong was a normal fucking thing.
Yeah.
This is the 50s.
That's crazy.
King breaks the South for that shit in 10 years. Not by himself. Because like I said, please know by the time he gets to Selma, those activists have been doing that shit for 10 years. King was the chosen one to lead it. They had been doing the work for 10 years. You hear about, obviously we hear about
Neil Nash?
The sister, Rosa Parks.
Yeah, Rosa
and then
Parks.
there's the other sister now that we learn about. that got stopped, but the movement didn't see her as the one. It's 5 women before her that done that. Selma been doing that work. They was a decade in by the time by the time King comes in and just adds on to what they were already doing.
Yeah.
That's the real history, just to know that or whatever. But still, at the end of the day, without what he had done, it's almost like bringing a celebrity to something, right? And how we, you know how we can say the same thing Jay-Z said, but when Jay-Z said,
So
people act
different.
like some people get mad about it.
Right.
If you really about his business,
Right.
you love the fact that he
Right.
came in and added to it and made it go
Right.
faster.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, I don't want to give simple the credit just to MLK, but just understand that 10 years before that, the things I just told you was real. You had to literally, if you talk too loud around a white woman, they could take you to jail for that.
That's
they was
crazy.
doing that in the South.
That's